Well, hello, thank you for joining me today again on the Church History Trail. And where we are today is we're at Blair's Cemetery, and we're actually in the new cemetery. Of course, it's on the outskirts of Lisburn. And we're going to look at a grave, and that's the grave of the Reverend Sam Workman, who was a tremendous servant of God through the years. And Sam was the minister of the Abbotts Cross Congregational Church. Now, Congregationalism, or independence as it was known back then originally, is a Christian movement that arose in England in the late 16th and 17th centuries. Their statement of faith can be found in what's known as the Savoy Declaration of Faith and Order, which is the confession of faith of the Congregationalists, or the Independents, as they were known back then, of 1658. Now, they had tremendous leaders such as John Owen and Thomas Goodwin, who were certainly big hitters for the Congregational Church. But they had another one, more modern, and that was the Reverend Sam Workman. And Sam was born in 1929 in Ballymena. Now, Sam grew up, and unfortunately he lived a life that was away from the Lord. He was very much into gambling, and he didn't like open air meetings because they reminded him of his sin. And he was going by an open air meeting one day, and the person was quoting this verse from Mark 8 verse 36. For what will it profit a man if he gains the whole world and in the end loses his own soul? And that pricked Sam's conscience, because he thought to himself that he was more interested in his next bet than he was in his eternal soul. But he didn't come to faith there and then. It took another wee while. But when he eventually did get saved, got gloriously converted by the Spirit of God, then he became the minister after a period of the Abbotts Cross Congregational Church in Belfast. And he started there about 1964, and he finished about the year 1975. Now, he was a fearless gospel preacher, and he led many to faith and salvation in Jesus Christ. In fact, up to 700 people attended this church in the late 60s. And the Reverend Workman was also an evangelist, holding gospel missions up and down the island of Ireland. So he was a tremendous servant of the Lord. And in 1969, he held a mission in the Christian Workers' Union Hall in Lisburn. And there was actually over 500 people in attendance. And there was 50 people who actually converted to Christ in that meeting. So powerful. And he was back in the Lisburn CW in 1999, this time with Dean Hutchison. And this is his grave here, as you can see. I'll try and get my shadow out of the way. It says, Workman, in loving memory of Samuel, that's the Reverend Samuel, and dearly beloved husband, father, and father-in-law. Sam was called home on the 18th of March 2012, or Sammy as he was called. And then his wife Sarah, or Una as she was known. Beloved wife, mother, and mother-in-law called home the 9th of March 2018. And of course, Sam also was a tremendous counsellor. He was great at giving Christian counselling as well. So there you are, that's the grave of the Reverend Sammy Workman. And what a fantastic job that he did for his Lord. You can see at the bottom there it says redeemed. And of course he was redeemed. He was redeemed by the precious blood of Christ. And now he's home to be with the Lord. So thanks for watching, and God bless.